Okay. So you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So in my PPT, I have some more examples, which basically we can practice, basically changing the page title, changing menu options, some good examples, basically, which are pretty much steps are given here, which you can try out once you have this document with you. And actually, I'm going further, and I'm going to talk about the expression language, and which I have given some background about expression language yesterday. Okay, so now I'm in Sandbox. So let's say a simple requirement. I'm saying that these icons, right? Anything in the screen comes default with the roles assigned to us. Based on the role, it comes up automatically. Okay, so let us say my requirement is this recruiting category is there. This recruiting icon should not be visible if employee is not a manager, or if employee is a manager, then only this icon should be visible. I'm just saying a simple requirement. Okay, so if it is the case, how do we do that? If that is a requirement, or well, that is simple requirement. That is my simple requirement. How do we do that? Or let us say, if I go to about me, and if I go to my personal information, okay. So in the personal information, we have this. See this one. How did it came up here? This is the customization we have done in our last to last class, and we have done this customization basically in different screen basically, but it navigated to this place, because if you remember, whenever we try to, let us say, whenever we try to customize that specific component, if it used to throw a message that you are about to modify a shared component. If you see, if I click on this one, it will say that you are about to modify a shared component. That means this component is being shared across multiple places. That is the reason this one came up. So whenever this information shows up, then typically we have to functionally we should know where this my details where this component might carry forward and how it is getting affected. That's what we have to understand. I remember now. I think we did in performance module. In the performance module last time we have did the customization. Here we did that in the performance thing, and this one carry forwarded to the personal information. See that it is carry forward here. It is because this component is shared component. There it is. Here it is showing my evaluations, and here it is showing my details. That is how it is showing up like that. Okay, let us say simple thing here. In place of my details, your requirement is to say last name, comma first name, Fiat Curtis details. If you want to show like that, Fiat Curtis details. If some Robert Jockman logs in, then it should say Robert Jockman details. How you can do that? How you can make it happen, right? So these two cases I just spoke about. So there are many cases we'll keep discussing. Let's start with the first case. As I said, I wanted to hide this category completely. This category completely for the people. I mean, I want to show it only for the people who are managers. That's what I wanted to show. Okay, so how do we know this person is a manager or not? Okay, so for that, I will bring back my document again. I was showing this document and other document yesterday. Okay, so in this document, I was talking about, we have spoke about many different things. One among that is security context. What the security context actually provides access to the functions for checking user security access at runtime. So there is something called security context.user in role and role list. So every manager will have a line manager role, right? So what I will do, I will say security context user enroll in the line manager. Means whoever user logs in, if that user has a role with name as line manager, then show for those people only this icon. Remaining one, don't show it up. That's my requirement. Okay, so security context that user enroll is one thing. Okay, and also yesterday, if I remember, I was showing you the description as well. Here it will say, see that user in app role returns the true if the current user is assigned the specific application role, basically. So it is one way. I mean, it is one way. We can use this one as well, or we can use this one as well. We have many things basically. And anything, we have the options, but all we need to do is try it out. That's what we need to do. Okay. So let me copy this one. So I will copy this. Security context that user enroll role list. So I will just copy it here. I'll keep it with me. So what I need to know, every manager has a role, right? Line manager role. Let us see what is that role name. Okay. So let me go back here. Let me see the roles basically. I'll bring some employee who is a manager. So like, I know Robert Jockman is a manager. So I'll bring him. So open him. And this person will have some manager role assigned. So keep going. See, employee role is assigned, but we want manager role. So keep going. So we should have the line manager. So we should take the role code basically. That's what you have to remember. Take the role code and like this. So we want security context that user enroll. If returns true, if is specific user whoever logged in has this role assigned, right? Okay, we know that. Let's go back. So let's go back. Go to home. Okay, before going with the security context, what I will do, I will just work with the expression language with simple true and false values, and then we will apply that whatever expression we are building. So how do we, in general, if forget about expression language, in blunt, if you wanted to hide this one, if you wanted to take it out this one from the screen, how do you do? One way, typically you go to the Springboard and you will go here. Where is the recruiting here? You will get check here and automatically this icon will go away. That is one way. But user will have ability to choose it whenever the user wanted to, because we logged in as Curtis Fiat. This person can go here again and choose this, right? And choose this and automatically comes up here. Or this person will also have access to that in this recruiting here. If our requirement is don't show it up if the person is not a manager. By default, based on the roles assigned, this is coming up. On top of it, our custom requirement is if he's a manager, only show it up. If it is employee, don't show it up. That is a requirement. Okay. So, and Curtis Fiat, I hope this person don't have the manager role assigned because this person is an employee. So let us check it out so that we can validate our testing. So Curtis. Oh, sorry, I have to go to users. Curtis Fiat. So Curtis Fiat. So does this person is employee? We know. Does this person has a line manager role assigned? So let us see. Yeah, line manager role assigned. So okay. Okay, so this person should be able to see that. Okay, anyway, let's. Oh, sorry. We'll take some other employee, not a problem. So now, how do we hide it permanently? How do we hide that permanently? One way is go here, go to the structure. In the structure, look for the recruiting category. So go here and search for the recruiting category here. or else you can go down like this. Anything is fine. So we have the recruiting here. Oh, we got 3. So what is this? So it is under my team. I think the one we have seen before is the one. So this recruiting is coming under my team, and this recruiting is the home recruiting icon. That is why it is having only this one. And we have a couple of more recruitings. This recruiting is under. Oh, yeah, it's also okay. Let me do one thing. Let me check here. So sales, manufacturing, costly. My team hiring is here. I think it is the one. Oh no. I think it is the one. Recruiting, but it don't have the children actually. It is the one. Okay, hiring is that. Okay, let's try it out. Let me try it out with existing one and see how does it work. So recruiting is there. So it is showing on navigator, and by default show it on the navigator. What I can do, I can say don't show it in the navigator, or I could say go to EL expression language and modify it, and by default I will say false. It means don't show it. Validate, it will show as false. Okay, so if I click OK, by default it was true. Now I set it as false. Save and close. And now let us see how it is going to affect, because we don't know what is that. Yeah, it is gone here. It's a home page basically. It is gone now, but it will be available. Yeah, it's gone here as well. Sorry. So hiring is available. That one is gone from this place and this place, and also from this place. See, hiring is no more here. It is gone, because what we did, we just went there and we have hidden that. We have bluntly given as false. It means that by default it is false for everyone. That's what we have done. Okay, but our requirement, this one. We just given like that. No, this one. Too many icons are given. No. We have modified this one. Okay. Validate. Okay. Okay. So it was given like that. So let us say I wanted to make it false, make it true only for the line manager. People has a line manager role. Okay. So what we do, we have this one built. So I will take this one and I will keep it here. Okay. And we know it will return true or false, right? So validate it. It will return, see what it will return basically. So I did some changes. This error is not specific to what we have done. It is with the system. So let me try again. So I'm going here and I'm going to EL expression and I'm going to say validate. So there's no reason to do that. So let's test it on another one basically. Okay, it came up. So let us say, I will say expression language here. Let me try it out. Why it is coming like this? Let me try to apply it on some other customized pages. Let me try to apply it on other field. I'm applying the edit button, so to just validate our testing. So I wanted to make it example. I want to make it visible or so let's test it. Okay, the issue with the it has issue with the same thing exactly. Maybe. So we took exactly the same thing. There's no reason why it is. Yeah. So what is the mistake we done before? Now it's returning false. See that? So now it is working. Sorry.
Hash you didn't take before one.
Oh, really? Okay. That's what the mistake I have done. Okay. Thank you. So let's go back to where we are. Yeah, this expression language is very sensitive. So now let's go to the structure. Now let's go to the hiring. Now let's go to recruiting and go to EL expression and then try to give the value here. So if the role is line manager abstract, then it is false. Okay. So basically for Curtis Friety has something with ORA, I guess. It has a role like this. If you validate it, it will return true. See that? This person don't have this role actually. This person don't have this role. That's why it's returning false here. So false. Okay. So if this, if we save and close, then typically what happens? This hiring is gone now. Okay. So what if I log in as an employee, log in as the person who has that specific, who has the specific line manager role? What happens? Let's do that because Robert Jackman has that. We have seen it. So let's log in as a Robert Jackman. But for the changes to show up for Robert Jackman, either Robert Jackman should have access to the sandbox or we should publish the sandbox. We have to do either of the two things. Okay. So what I will do, I'll just publish it. Before publishing it in real time, we have to download that and make sure those changes are with you. Okay. But as a test instance, I'm just publishing it. Once you publish it, then it automatically we did many changes. Basically, there are two updates happening concurrently. Okay, so let's. Else someone else also logged in with HCM IMPL. There's a conflict is encountered basically. So someone else also logged in with the same thing, and the concurrent update is not allowed. So what we will do, we will just go ahead and quickly create another sandbox and then do our changes and do the commit. Yeah, so syntax is important. As I was telling yesterday, there should be the expression language should be between the braces, and it should start with hash symbol basically. So example, this is example hash symbol, and should be followed between the braces, and in between you can give whatever variable you like to give. So that is more important. So last time, as I didn't give the hash symbol, I think we got the error. So that is one example. So while okay, it came up. Okay, so day 3 set as active. Okay, so yeah, someone is more working on it actually. So let's go back to the structure, and then take this one, and then go to recruiting, go to the EL expression, and say that if the person is a male, if person has this role, then only display it. Okay, it is false. What if you want to do the reverse? People who has line manager don't show it up for remaining everyone, show it up for remaining everyone. In that case, what you need to do before this, just say exclamatory mark not. That's what we have seen yesterday. You have to keep and operator, or operator, and is not operator. If you just say not before, then typically it will say that it will do the opposite evaluation. Okay, so if you want to see only line manager, then value created the false. Okay, so we did that. Save and close, and then go here and then publish the sandbox. So publish it. Yeah. Then the changes will automatically get committed into the mainline code. Okay, so this person not having recruiting now. So what we will do, we will log out and log in as some employee who has the line manager role. So I know Robert Jockman has the line manager role. So I will go here and I will modify to Robert.Jockman and then sign in. So while signing in, now the person has the okay, I think this person have it. Or even this person don't have the line manager role. So let's test it. Let's confirm that. So let's sign out and sign in again with some administrator with Curtis Fiati. And then is a role. So let's go to, oh, something has happened actually. Can go to tools, go to security console and look for Robert Jackman. So sometimes what happens is the changes what are we done, it may take few minutes to get it affected. So let us see what is the role this person has. PR line manager abstract. PR line manager abstract should be the same. Okay, so yeah, the changes will show up. So what I will do, we will just log out. And log in some private window. And Robert Jackman. Go to home page. Oh no. Let's log in as some other manager. Not sure the hiring should come up for this person or not. Let's log in with some other manager. I'm pulling some other manager. Give me 1 minute. So get me some other, some HCM user. Bring some HCM user who is a manager. Let us say Henry Jones, the senior vice president. Let me try login as Henry Jones and see if this person has anything. Even this person don't have the recruiting coming up. So let's take that customization back and let us see if it is coming by default for these people or not. So let me go and create another sandbox or because that one is published. So while, yeah, I did it happen. So while it is happening, so let me log in with with a different user, and let's do some more examples while that is okay. It got active now. So we got day 3 version 2 set as active. Okay, so let's go to the structure. Go to recruiting. We have an expression language and we have given the, oh, that's good. So let's take it back. Let's say true, and then let's say save and close, and then so we will what I will do, I will publish the sandbox, and we will see whether in real does that people has access to the hiring thing or not. That's what I will validate. We'll validate it before publishing it. Let me do one more example and then we'll publish it. So another example, I was saying in the personal information, in place of my details, I wanted to display last name, first name, details. I want to display like that. So let's do that change as well. And once we do both the changes, we'll publish the sandbox and we will see how does it work. Okay. So I want to say in place of my details, I wanted to say Fayette Curtis details, something like that. So I'm going here and again, I'm going to customize pages and I'm doing it site level and I'm going to go to view source mode because I'm not adding content here. I'm going to modify the properties. I click on my details. It is shared component. Click on edit. So we have the my details here. So now what you can do here, if you see all these components, panel header, my details, it has some properties, and similarly we have many fields here, many properties. Every field has its own properties. So what I wanted to do in my details, if you click on this edit pencil, So my details, typically my details comes up from the text basically. This text actually talks about what is my details. So I wanted to modify this text in such a way that, okay, this text is actually currently referring, this text is currently referring, having some expression language saying that component title based on template. Some component is there basically. So what I wanted to do here in the expression language, I wanted to say first name, last name, details, like that. How do I get the first name here? Okay, how do we get that? One easy way to get that is click on this property, edit. So if it last name is there, this last name has two things. One is label and message, next is output text. Label and message nothing but this last name label, output text nothing but the real value basically. So the output text value we wanted to show up here. So what I will do, I will click on this properties, and here the value is there. This value is bindings dot last name dot input value. So if I go back to my document again, so yesterday I was saying about bindings, which I was saying about very important things, ADF bindings. This binding object essentially link between the UI and the backend data model. It will have bindings dot column name dot input value. Same thing here. It has the bindings dot last name dot input value. Typically you can take it, copy it, and what I will do, I will go to this my details again, click edit. Okay, and then what I will do, I will just go and click on the properties, and in place of the text, what I will do, I will take out the text, whatever the default text coming up here, I will just take it out, and in place of it, I will just mention this bindings dot last name dot input value details. I'll just type it like this. If you test it here, typically binding values, this get executed runtime. If you test it here, it won't give any result. It will just give details like this. Okay, click OK, and then click apply. When you click on apply, then note how the values will change here. When you click apply, typically page will get refreshed at the backend. When page get refreshed in the backend, this detail will populate here like this, fiat details. But you want first name, comma, last name, and first name details, right? So typically what I do, I can go to text again. So expression builder. So last name and input value, I'm assuming, I'm assuming it is the first name. So last name dot input value and space and first name dot input value space details. That's what I will give. Okay, so for last name space first name space details. So test it, it will show only details because it won't get executed now. But once we click on apply, page will get refreshed at the back end. And our page get refreshed, see that fiat Curtis details. That's how it came up now. Now if I publish this sandbox now, okay, before publishing it, it is one change we have done. And there actually we took out the hiring expression language to true. So it will show everything. And let me do few more changes. Okay. So this biographical information is there. Every screen, let's say first name, last name. Every screen, what typically happens when the page is developed, the page will develop with many components. And that many component is nothing but a view object. View object will bring many components, but out of the view object, only some components will be shown up on the page, remaining components won't show up on the page. Example, we have the last name here, and we have first name here, and we have middle name here, but middle name is not showing up anywhere here, right? And we have the title here, and we have known as preferred name. It is not showing up here. We have prefix, we have suffix, previous last name, rank, honors. There are many things which are available here. They are all not showing up here. Example, our company has a requirement that we should also capture the middle name when we want to display the middle name in the personal information, if that is our requirement. then typically what we need to do, we need to make the middle name, we need to make the middle names to show up on the screen. So typically what we need to do, so okay, before showing it up, typically what happens, if you see that middle name, you can see the middle name here, select one choice middle name here, and also you will be seeing the middle name here. Basically how does it work is, panel label message nothing but the middle name label, and this is nothing but the value basically. So typically if you want to enable this to show it up, typically what you need to do, click on this panel label message, click on that display options. In that there is something called show component and visible. There are two values here. If we say show component, by default this show component has some expression language here. What it is saying that if binding dot middle names dot input value not equal to null, then don't display it. Something they're saying like that basically. So what I will do, I will just go here and I will just bluntly say that, so if you don't have the checkbox showing up here, then typically what you can go here, go to expression builder, and you can just take it out, and I will say true. Show it true. It is true. Click OK. Then the label will be, if label will show up. Basically, sometimes what happens, it won't show up immediately, but once we apply OK and go to the home page, then it will show it up there. Okay, so apply it, OK it, and also apart from the panel, so the middle name is coming up here. See that? And also there's one more we have seen for the middle name. Enable this one as well for safer side. So I'll go here, and by default show component, same value is there here as well. I'll go here and expression builder, and I will make it as true. Test it and click on OK. That's it. Apply and OK. So now the middle name got displayed now. So you make the middle name visible on the screen. Okay. So now we have met our client requirement saying it as middle name as that. Okay. So similarly, if you wanted to change the label, we have changed the label here. So Fiat Curtis details, we have changed it like that, and we could change the labels here as well, and we can play around with the many things, right? So one more thing I will show here, and then we will go to the next step. So what I will do, let me see. Fiat Curtis details and middle name here, and okay, so yeah, example. Let me take one more example here. Let us say, let me show some more fields actually, which will be useful for you to play around. Till now we are referring the attributes from here, or we are referring the attributes from here, or we are referring the attributes from the existing fields, okay? But in this expression builder, there is also some more else we are given which can be useful. So if I click on the same thing again, my details, edit. So I'll go to the properties. So here we are pulling the details, right? So I'll go to expression builder, right? Typically it is a value we have chosen. So I will keep it aside. Okay. So there is something called choose value here. Something, if you wanted to write, you can write your own language, or you can go to this value, and this value will show some list of fields basically. These lists nothing but what we were talking yesterday, right? It has the application, security, navigation, people, connection, service, like that. It is the thing. Asset info has two things. It's nothing but it's basically every application resource is basically. So this asset nothing but this page is an asset. This page display name, page description, it will come up automatically like this. It will form the expression language automatically like this. Similarly, example, user information, user information. What is the user? What is the username? See that security context, that username. This username, if you see that, if you test it, then typically it will return the username of the user, basically. Something if you can make use of these things on ready-madely. So in place of here, you want to display as username details, something like that. Then you can test it. It will say cut is fiat details. It will come up like this here. So username, first name, middle name, there are many things. So in this case, I would say first name, and yeah, you can choose only one thing. So typically you can copy it for with you and take it last name. Here I would say first name, comma last name, something like that. It will say cut is fiat. So you can make use of these things to get the expression language on the fly. Manager display name. If it has a manager display name available in the screen, basically. If it's not available in this specific page flow, it may not show, may or may not show. It is available because it is available here. So something you can make use which is very useful. This list was not there before, but release 12, they have given enough information which we can, no need to write yourself, but you could typically choose from here and use it for your validation purpose. Preference language, English. So there are many things available here. Home phone, if it is available, then it display the home phone. If it is not available, it won't display the home phone. All this information is very, very useful. Very, very useful if we wanted to play around. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you. Okay, let's cancel it. Let me commit it. Let me publish the sandbox. Sorry, before publishing it, go to design mode. Then only that blue icons will go away. Now the blue color won't come up. So go to sandbox. Before I close this customization page, customization, go to sandbox, click on more. Yeah, we did 3 changes basically. So personal information page, simple panel change, and root menu thing. So publish it. So it is published now. So if you go to about me, personal information now, then you could say cut is fiat details, right? Fiat cut is details, and middle name is enabled here. Similarly, if I the hiring, the recruiting icon is enabled here. Okay, so let's go and log out and log in as some other user, and let us see how the changes are coming up now. So let me log on as Robert Chalkman, and let us see how the changes are coming up. So now Robert Jackman, yeah, by default this person don't have access to recruiting screen. That is why it is gone basically. So that's why we are not able to validate. This person don't have access to recruiting icon at all. So I think we should have done on some other icon, maybe directory, something like that. And go to about me, go to personal information. In the personal information, now it should show up first name and last name of Robert Jackman. See that? Jackman Robert details and the middle name. These changes are coming up here. So dynamically, these things got populated based on the context of the user or based on the page where we navigated to. That is the way typically we'll do. So let us do one more thing with the role thing, which was not properly happened before. Now this time what I will do, instead of that recruiting thing, I will apply that role feature on some real use case. So let us say for Curtis Fiat only. So Curtis Fiat has access to tools and access to security console. Okay, so the security console access comes based on IT security manager role, right? And based on IT security manager role, this thing will come up. So what I wanted to do, I want to create a custom role in my company such a way that, so if any employee who has that custom role, only that person can create a role. If any, for everyone else, this create role button should be disabled if that's my requirement. Okay, so or let us think of like this. So what I would say, so Curtis has the IT security manager role. That is the reason Curtis is able to access this screen, right? So, oh, the IT security manager. Oh, he don't have IT security manager. Compensation, employee, HCM, administrator, line manager, recruiter, time and labor. How? This person also don't have application implementation consultant role. How do Curtis Fiat has access to this screen? Is there any administrator role, benefits administrator? Same application administrator. Something is missing here. Okay, so let us say this person don't have IT security manager. Typically, without that role, he should not get access to security console. That's what I'm wondering, how this person got the access. Which one got this person access to this? Okay, so we'll look into that. So what I wanted to do, if anyone who has IT security manager and application implementation consultant, so IT security manager who has access to IT security manager role, okay, and who has access to application implementation consultant, okay, whoever has these two roles, only those people could able to create this, can create the role. For remaining everyone, this button should be disabled. That is my requirement. Example, typically this button will be enabled as and when we get this IT security manager role. But I want to keep additional thing, this role and this role. If you have these two things, then make it enabled, else disable it. That is my requirement. Then typically what I need to do, I have to use the same condition, right? Security user in role, security manager. And what I need to do, I have to apply AND condition. How do you apply the AND condition? We have to apply the AND condition like this. Ampersand, ampersand. Within the braces, we have to apply the condition. So what I wanted to do, if user security role is this one, and same thing I'll apply again, and role is in condition role. If both are matching, if it is true, if both are satisfied, then return true, else return false. I wrote a if statement here. If security role, user role is in IT security manager and application implement consultant job, return true, else return false. That's my expression language here for the create role button here. Okay, so let's do that. Let's write the expression language for that. For that, we have to go to the sandbox again. So let's enable the sandbox. So I think this is the sandbox. I don't want to go this. Let me create a new one. So let's create a new sandbox, and this within the sandbox, we will write the expression language for that specific button, and let us see how does it work.
Lakshmi, any new changes like configuration means we need to create the sandbox and we need to test it.
Absolutely, yes. Without Sandbox, you cannot do any personalization. You should not do.
Okay. Generally, for groups will have some permission. This group will have, but it's not like that. Yeah, we need to create a separate sandbox.
I mean, we are
Suppose you are telling create job, right?
create job.
Uh,
Okay, okay,
Create job. Suppose if it is the IT or head of the departments will have access to create the job. Suppose
okay.
normal technician, normal employee below manager level.
Uh-huh.
So we can create the manager groups. We can add it.
Oh, role. You're saying roles, right?
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
below.
So yeah, that is very good question actually. So basically, we can control many things based on the roles, the security roles, basically. So that is the first thing we need to do. If we have to achieve something, so whatever requirement is, basically the requirement is to show those screens. Sorry. Sandbox. So that is active. So if you are, the requirement is to, if we got a requirement saying that we want access to these screens or we want access to this data, the first thing you have to do is go by the roles. See what roles can offer, what roles can give us. You go by the roles, that is the first thing we have to do. If the roles are not satisfying your requirement, then only you have to go for this personalization. Else you should not go to the personalization, not the first option. Personalization is the second option. In the security context, the roles or duty roles or job roles, data roles, if the requirement is not being satisfied with the out of the box security roles or the custom security roles, then you should go ahead with this kind of customizations. The create role button, basically how it will come up whenever any person has IT security manager. But on
Yeah.
top of it, we have additional requirements saying that on top of our IT security manager, that person should also be application implementation consultant role. Then only we should be able to edit it. So typically, in reality, I don't need to mention this because the person has already IT security manager role. I just kept it for show the end scenario. Okay. So
Because if the clients, if we show in this way, they will keep on. They will come up with always one new requirement.
yeah, of course, yes. I mean, and first we have to study the requirements, and then we have to come up with the solution. We should not bring this at the beginning, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, if you tell about these things at the beginning, then their requirements will keep on growing. So
Keep.
right, so now I need to go to tools. I need to go to security console, and now I am going to customize the edit page. So I will go here and I will customize this page, and I will do it at site level. And what I will do, I will just click on, okay, by default it's design mode. Design mode won't allow you to select this one. For that, from view design mode to source mode, then you could able to choose the button. To choose this button, it is again shared component. Click on edit and go down. It is a create role button. Click on that properties. So what we need to do, it's not about showing, it's about disabling. I want to disable it if I want to disable it if the person is not having the both security manager and IT security manager and application implementation consultant role, basically. So in that case, what I need to do, so I will take this one. So let me go here, expression builder, and by default it is false. So let's test it. It is false. So this person don't have these two roles. It is why it is showing false. And if I say not at the beginning, I think here. No. Oh, sorry. I'm actually returning the true or false here, right? I should return false here and true here. So what I need to do, if person is, we are setting the link for disabled. When it should be disabled? When this person don't have both IT security manager and application implementation consultant role. The person has both of these two, then don't disable it. If the person don't have any, doesn't satisfy any of this condition, then disable it. So now test it. It is true. Click on OK. Now it is disabled because this person don't have these two roles assigned. Okay. So let's apply. Then automatically this curtain will be disabled. So it is grayed out now. Click on OK. So now what happened? Oh, sorry. Now what happened? This button got grayed out. So design mode, it grayed out because this user don't have these two roles. Let us say if I assign those two roles to the user, I'm going to the user screen, I'm going to the Curtis, and I'll go to Curtis Fiat, and now I will be edit, and I will be adding the both roles. I'll be getting the IT security manager. So it is actually ORA F&D IT security manager job, add role membership, and typically also add the application implementation consultant role. And which one we took? ORA is some application consultant job, ORA is some application consultant job, add role membership, okay, and done. So I had both now. So typically this person should be able to have this IT security manager, application implementation consultant. So now save and close. Okay. So now this person has both the roles, right? So go home and again come back. We are still in Sandbox. We didn't publish it yet. As we are in Sandbox, whatever changes we have done, they should get reflected now. Go to security console. Let us see what the create role showing up. It is enabled now because this person has two roles assigned and this condition is returning true, right? So it is got achieved. So this requirement, I have seen some of the clients ask this, even though they typically what they will do, they'll create their own custom role and assign that custom role only for the limited people. And they will say that if an employee has that role, then only make that user to create the role and create the user, add user account. Add user account, typically what they will do, they will typically customers will do create help desk role, and only help desk people should be able to add user account. They'll give a help desk role and assign the help desk role only to the service desk people, and those people then they'll give access to only to this screen, only user account screen, and they could be able to add user account and they could be able to modify the user account. If you search for someone, typically what happens, you will have actions here and you could be able to modify the action, long reset password and delete basically. So these actions, they will give the actions to these things. Okay, so that is another example, and I'm not going to publish this Sandbox because many people are using this one, so I don't publish it. This is one example. Now let us say, and I have mentioned some other few examples here. Basically, I have mentioned some example. Okay, one good example, I wanted to cover this one, which is also very useful for you. So let us say in any screen, we have the master detail screens, right? Where we go and search for the data, right? Any search page. Let us say I'm going to my workforce and I'm going to person management. And here what I will do, I will just pull the employee details. Let us say I'm pulling the people, let us say from location. Okay, so Edward City. So I'm searching for the people who are in Edward City basically. So what it will do, it will give the list of employees here. Okay, so now let us say I wanted to do some modification to results. Maybe saying that if employee is something like that, probably if employee is active payroll eligible, if employee is active employee, then show this one in green color. If the person is not active, show that in red color, basically. So it means employee means show it in green color. If it is not employee, example inactive, show it in red color, something like that. How do you do that kind of things? Okay. So now, before doing that, something we have to understand here is, so here we do a search. Previously, when we doing the personal information customization, if you want to refer the first name, what we did, bindings.input.value. Similarly, here also you can get the bindings.input.value, but the way we pull the data here is a little bit different. Let me show it. I'm going to customize pages, and I'm going to site level, and I will, again, I'm not adding any content here. So I'll be going to view, and I'm going to source mode so that I can choose the respective field. So I'm going here, and what I will do, I will go here, click on this field, edit. So what I will do here, this output text, how do I want to show the text? Okay, so it is my value. So probably what I wanted to do, I wanted to change the color format basically. If assignment status is active payroll eligible, then show the color as this color or some color coding, whatever you want it to, right? So what I will do, I will just take it and give it in a style. So in the color, I will just try to give it like this. So if rows, okay, so how do you get the user status here? So how do I get that status basically? So user status. If this status value, if the row.user.status value is equal to active payroll eligible, then make this color, else make this color, something like that, right? So that's what I'm going to give here. I'm going to say that if that color, if the row user status is equal to active payroll eligible, then say give this color 00FF or 000, something like that. Okay, so if I click on apply, okay, it is actually entered in the color in the format as this example. So I don't know, something I'm giving here. I don't know. So why it is giving like this? Because it won't ask like this. It is something different what I'm seeing before. Let's see, this color should take anything. Let me do one thing. Let me copy something from here. This one, I will take this. And I'll take some different color. Okay, so let us see what it will say. Okay, so maybe I need to check a little bit on this. So I don't know why it is coming like that. It should not come like this. So I'll check it out why it is. Typically what we can do, what I wanted to say here is we can also change the style properties using these variables. So typically it should allow. There are many screens where we have these styles which we can modify, but I'm not sure why it is coming up like that. So here actually we can, these styles, these background colors, we can modify these properties as well based on we can change the font color based on these properties. Whatever mentioned here, these are actually working examples. Basically, it should work. I don't know why it is not working, but I will check it out. Why the font color is not being accepted? So I will check it out. And there is one more scenario I will cover anyway, as we have a little more time. So let us say that I am hiring a person. Okay, so I'm going to hire a person. So typically when I'm hiring a person, typically what I will do, I will hire the employee. While hiring an employee, typically we will capture some information, right? So in the information, typically some customers will say that if we wanted to make sure the middle name is entered, or we wanted to make sure the first name is entered. See, first name is not mandatory here. So they will ask the first name has to be entered for sure. And some people will say that make sure the preferred name is, make sure we ask the preferred name. Similar to the middle name, how we made it to display in that screen. Typically, you can go here and display it. Similarly, how do you make it as mandatory? Maybe we'll say that if the legal employer is US legal employer, then make sure the first name is mandatory. If it's not a US legal employer, then it is not mandatory. So if that is the conditional way of doing it, similarly, how you do that? Typically, you have to make a required property is there. That required property has to be set true or false based on the other values, right? That is one typical way. And again, when you come to the edit screens, and before you do any customizations, basically the recommended way to do is first fill the required fields and then do the customization. Else what happens? Let us say if I want to customize this page, if I go here and if I customize page, and if I go to site level and if I click on customize pages, then if I click on any field which I wanted to do the customization, I have to go to source view. And if I go and try to, example, I want to make first name is mandatory. If I click on it, so it will throw an error saying that you must enter a value. That is the reason I am saying that before doing any customization on the editable pages, the mandated step before that is fill the required information. I'm going to design view again so that I can fill the information. So just fill some information. Okay, so John, whatever. See this, how this information got populated automatically. It was prefix and suffix was not there before. Preferred name is not there before. How this came up automatically? It is a standard page functionality. Based on the legal entity you choose, the number of fields will modify here. Okay, but on top of it, this is a given functionality. On top of the given functionality, our requirement is if it is US legal entity, then make sure the first name is required. Or in my company, for everyone, you have to enter the first name. They should have the first name. Okay, or in my company, every employee should enter the title, something like that. Or more than that, some companies where we have payroll running, they need the gender to enter for sure. Not gender, date of birth. They want a date of birth for sure. We have to make the date of birth field as required. Okay, so those things will be there. So let us say to do that, typically choose some value here. Okay, so you got it. So now now we can go ahead and do the customization. Maybe instead of first name, I will make the date of birth as required. So go to view, go to source. So go to the date of birth and so here you can go to the properties and here we have the required field. So by default, if date of birth required flag attribute value equal to y, something is given here. And if you wanted to modify that, typically you have to go to required and expression builder, and simply as irrespective of any values, we want to make it as true, right? So maybe sometimes we wanted to bindings dot legal employer name equal to something something something, do that something like that. But in our case, I am just trying to make it as true. Okay, so test it. So make it as true. Okay, and then apply it. So sometimes it's not necessary that your changes will affect immediately. Sometimes it won't show up immediately. Just close it, come out of that customizing the page and come back in. You can see that. Now date of birth field is mandatory, and now we can enter the date of birth values. Okay, and sometimes what happens is some problems we'll be facing. It is not necessary every field available here may be available here. Example, I wanted to refer the legal employer field, in this block. Example, let us say think of date of birth is there. So for date of birth, if legal employer is US legal employer, then show it as yes, else no. Okay, let us say we have the legal employer. Just get the legal employer value, what it is. See that this it have to enter. To enter it, we have to go to design mode and enter some value. Okay, and then go to view and source mode, and then choose the legal employer. Click on edit, legal employer, and properties. So the legal employer value is so where is the value? It is a label, it is a short description, and it is a pop-up title. Okay, so let me cancel it. Let us see, let's think. Let us take this employee type. Maybe if it is employee, we will do that. So instead of spending time on it, let us say employee. Yeah, it is straightforward. We have the input value like this. So my thing is, we need to make sure, let us say if you want to refer some value in this block, if it is available within this block or not, how do you validate it? That's what my intention is. Either it is a legal employer or worker number or worker type, whatever value we have in this block, is it available in this block? You have to test it. You cannot ensure that, okay, it is available here, it is available here. It's not like that. You have to validate it. Okay. Example, what I will do, I will go here. Let us say in the preferred name, I just change the label with the worker type label just to validate. So here what I will do, for my testing purpose, what I will do, label, right? I will give some label here. So I will just give the, I will take it out and give this one as a label. Let us see if it returns any value or not. If it returns any value, it means that is not returning here, but click on OK and then click on apply and then see here. which one we took? We took as known as, right? So yeah, let's click on apply. Still applying. I'm just validating actually. Click on OK. So which one I modified? I modified as prefix. Okay, let me revert it back. I forgot which one I modified. So I know this is the one I modified. I will reset it to the known as, right? So okay, that is a preferred name. So you modified the we modified the preferred name, right? Yeah, we modified the preferred name to so we modified the preferred name. So this label I am trying to modify. Let us see what this preferred name will become. So I'm going here. I'm expecting that should become employee because it is a part of testing. I'm doing that. So input value, it won't give any value here because its binding value happens at runtime. Click OK. Let us see what preferred name will change like. Click on apply. Click on OK. So preferred name, it is not affecting yet. So let's close it. See that it's gone actually. So typically we are expecting the employee should come up here just for our validation, but it didn't come up here. It means that this value is not available in this block. That's what you have to understand. Sometimes if you want to modify based on something on this, we have to do something here. Then typically sometimes it may not give us the better results. That is our validation. So that is one validation which typically I do sometimes just for make sure the value is affecting correctly in our the respective blocks. So for our testing, that is one better way to do that. Okay, so wherever you use, not only the screen, wherever screen you use, make sure that's how you do the testing and make sure that it is working. If it doesn't work, just go here and just go and reset it. It will reset back to the old value. Okay, and again, this other thing you can do, as always I said, we have the set of parameters here. You can always use this binding parameters. If you have any binding parameters available, basically all these things are available, right? So you can use all these values. Whatever bindings that input value, see that whatever value is available here, all those values can be used here. See that we don't have the employee type here. That is the reason it is showing as a blank. You can use any of these values. Example, if you wanted to use the last name, it is available. You can use it right away, basically. So yeah, it is not yet saved into the database, but it will be used. So whatever binding variables are available for this block, you could go ahead and use those binding variables in your specific context, basically, right? Similarly, user info, and is all the information. And we have something called epicenter events, basically, which we won't be using. Sometimes if you want to refer the document names and the document IDs and who created the document, in that case we use this. Very rarely in the data exchange we use that, and file import export page also we use that if you want to do any customizations on top of it. Okay, so I think I gave some fundamentals. Means we have a lot of different use cases. You have to look at and play around. Personalization is not like a coding. It's all about expressions and all about changing the properties. So we have to do a lot of testing before committing any changes into the production instances, basically, and make sure whatever changes you have done, download that before publish it, so that if anything happens, you can refer that one and revert back the changes, because we don't know how many people has how many sandboxes and how many are they publishing if it is not properly tracked. So we have to make sure the sandboxes are properly tracked, and we have to make sure that we won't be giving access to the administration block to anyone. So whoever has a HCM administrator, finance administrator, those kind of responsibilities, they will have this section. Make sure this section is not given to everyone. It should be limited to the very, very limited people, so that only they can do the customizations and publish in the sandboxes. Okay. So with that, I will conclude the customizations and personalizations. So we left with 2 more days of sessions and one special class on the integrations. So what I learned from Ravi is tomorrow and day after, we may not be having the instance. So and we have a demo in another instance. I'm giving demo for the next batch in another instance basically. So for tomorrow and day after, we may not have the classes. So this weekend we'll be having the classes whatever we are planning for last week, and your Saturday and Sunday. So we will try to cover the remaining topics on Saturday and Sunday, and you won't be having classes tomorrow and late day after. Okay.
Lakshmi, what time on Saturday, Sunday?
So Saturday, Sunday, I'm planning of the same timing, or we can extend. I mean, it is 7 o'clock, right? We can make it 8 probably, or evenings your time.
8 o'clock, I think would be good. 8 o'clock in the morning time for us.
Okay, yeah, we can make it like that.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
It's convenient for you, right?
Yeah, weekends is okay for me this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay.
Okay. And
So
Mahantesh,
this will be covering weekend. You'll be covering standard things what we have, or those extra session which we are going to do.
so we will see whatever extent we can cover. Else we'll take additional class.
Okay, fine.
So Mahantesh, are you okay with that this weekend?
No, I am fine. I am just looking at your timings. It will be too late for you, right?
That's fine. Weekends is late for me, so that's not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
only
I am okay with that.
Maybe we can do 1 hour, no? Or Lakshmi, maybe if we start at 8 to 9, we can do, and then.
yeah. I mean, I want to cover actually whatever remaining topics we have. So let's see whatever extent we can.
You want to cover the approval management?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, I have another batch starting soon next week actually.
Okay. Is it starting on Monday?
No, actually tomorrow and day after we have the demo. So next week, Wednesday or Thursday, something like that, I'm going to start the next batch.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Lakshmi.
Okay.
So can you just send out an email just to confirm that?
Sure. I will ask Ravi to send out an email. But I don't have your email ID, so I will ask him.
Sure. Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay.
Thanks, Lakshmi. Take care.
Thank you. Venkatesh, do you have any questions? Not sure you are being followed.
No, Lakshmi, I don't have any questions.
Okay, thanks. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Same to you.